1, 2, 3, test 1. Check 1, 2, test 1, 2, 3, check 1, 2. Check 1, 2, test 1, 2. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check 1, 2. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check 1 2, test 1 2. And good afternoon and welcome to Nobby's Ballpark in Cleveland, Ohio for today's game between the Case Western Reserve University Spartans, 25-10 on the season, ranked 22nd in the country, and John Carroll University, 20-15 on the season, and has played good baseball of late. Coming into today's game, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Cleveland on what is a beautiful day outside today. Temperature in the mid-70s, sunshine. And ready for some baseball here as the final stretch of the season for Case Western Reserve begins. A 4-game homestand to end the year, with today's game against John Carroll and 3 to wrap up the season next weekend against the University of Chicago. Let's go ahead and get you starting lineups, beginning with John Carroll, which defeated Case Western Reserve 10-9 at University Heights, Ohio, on their home field on Tuesday of this week. It will be Patrick Cohane leading things off and playing left field. Aaron Zawadzki batting second. Dominic Mittiga, the third baseman, hits third. And then Monroe Donnelly, the first baseman, in the cleanup spot. Derek Penman, the right fielder, hitting fifth. Joe Charpentier, the catcher, bats sixth. Matthew Donnelly, the DH, batting seventh in the order. Michael Anderson playing center field and hitting eighth. And Sam Heaton, the second baseman, will bat ninth. Casey Anzelk, the pitcher today for John Carroll. We'll tell you more about the freshman when he takes the mound in the bottom of the inning. For Case Western Reserve University defensively, first base, Benjamin Stawicki, the freshman. Second base, Rocco Ma. The shortstop is Jacob Lodden, and third base is Jacob Kusha. In the outfield, Alex Capetillo in left field. It'll be Samuel Neal in center field. Right fielder is Nate Glasser. Doing the catching, Tyler Wipazinski, and on the mound is Ben Murphy, the senior out of Jeromesville, Ohio, down in the Worcester area. Murphy, 4-1 on the year with a 2.31 ERA through 8 starts. And we'll start things off here against the dangerous hitter and Patrick Cohane, and starts him up high with a fastball, 1-0 the count. Cohane batting at .394 in the season, 8 home runs, 21 RBIs, hit a home run to center field in Tuesday's game against Case Western Reserve, as that one misses up high for ball 2, 2-0. Now the 2-0 on the way. Murphy rocks and delivers. Swung on, foul back. Cohane taking a cut at a high pitch there, ahead in the count, 2-0. Murphy has been good this year. 46 2/3 innings pitched. He's allowed just 44 hits for a .239 opponent's average. Giving up 15 runs, 12 of those earned. Swung on, popped up in the infield. Ma underneath it. Comes in, makes the grab, one gone. Well, already a better start to the game for Case Western Reserve pitching than on Tuesday, when the first 5 hitters reached for John Carroll. They scored 4 in the first inning, 3 in the second, 1 in the third, took an 8-0 lead. Case Western Reserve worked its way back into that game, but could not ultimately get ahead in it for the win. First pitch, it's a called strike to Aaron Zawadzki, and the count goes to 0-1. Zawadzki hitting at .339 on the year with 3 home runs and 32 runs batted in. Fouls that one back, and it's 0-2. Zawadzki, a sophomore, playing shortstop for John Carroll. The 0-2. That's in the dirt for a ball, 1-2. Certainly every game in the season important, but for John Carroll, an interesting situation where they will have to save their top 2 starters for tomorrow's doubleheader against Baldwin Wallace. Swung on, foul back. And the count stays at 1-2 on Zawadzki. That is a conference game, 2 conference games for John Carroll. What makes it even more interesting is that John Carroll still has an outside chance to make the OAC tournament. They need a lot of things to go their way, most of which need to happen today. 1-2. Up high for a ball, 2-2. The OAC takes the top 4 teams in the regular season standings into the OAC tournament. Of course, the winner receives the berth into the NCAA tournament. As that one swung on and missed that by Zawadzki for strike 3, and Murphy has retired the first 2 batters he's faced. Hitter now will be Dominic Mittiga, a .370 hitter on the season with 3 home runs and 42 runs batted in. Back to the OAC tournament. Again, John Carroll needs some things to go their way today to have a chance. They're 8-8 in the OAC this season as that one misses outside, ball one. But with this game starting at noon and some of those other games starting around the same time, if you're John Carroll, you can't risk pitching one of your top two starters in this game. Down and out there, it's 2-0. And so they will turn to a freshman in Casey Anzelk. And we'll tell you a little bit more about him in the bottom of the inning, but he'll be making just his third career appearance. That ball rocketed in the air deep towards left center field. Back is Capetillo, and it's off the base of the wall. Picked up in center by Neal. Trotting into second base is Mitiga with a 2-out double. And so a runner is on in scoring position now and a chance for a 2-out rally for John Carroll as Monroe Donnelly strides to the plate. Donnelly, the first baseman, hitting at .328 on the season. 1 home run, 29 runs batted in. Meanwhile, for Case Western Reserve, it's gotten a little bit stickier than it looked when they had their last home game, last time we saw you back against Worcester. The Spartans at that point came into that game with a 25-6 record. As that one lined in the air, shallow center, charging in is Neal. He can't make the catch on the fly. It drops in, rounding third, and coming in to score is Mitiga. And a bloop single from Monroe Donnelly will give John Carroll the early 1-0 lead.
Now batting number 4, Derek.
Well, it wasn't a hard hit ball, but with 2 outs, it was hit to the perfect spot. Mitiga was able to run hard the whole way, and once that dropped in, it was an easy chance for Mitiga to score. So the 30th RBI of the season for Monroe Donnelly. Now Derek Penman at the plate takes it down and in for a ball, 1-0. But 4 games left for Case Western Reserve on the year, looking for either a Pool B bid or an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. No automatic bid through the UAA. This is up high, 2-0. And in most years, previous years, Case Western Reserve would be a runaway favorite for a Pool B bid. What makes this year different is that the WIAC, the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, those teams no longer get an automatic bid, so they're eligible for a Pool B bid this year. Foul back, and the count goes to 2-1. And again, Pool B bids awarded to teams that are either independent in Division III or are part of a conference that does not award an automatic bid. Typically, the UAA schools are the leaders for that. That ball hit in the air to center field. Neal coming over and makes the catch for the out. However, this year with the WIAC, there are some very good WIAC teams. Wisconsin Oshkosh, Wisconsin Stevens Point, Wisconsin Whitewater, obviously. All those teams are vying for that same bid, and then they'll move into the Pool C bid area if they don't get one of the Pool B. So it makes it a little bit less of a lock, certainly, for Case Western Reserve this season to get in, or any UAA team to get in. So 1-0 the score as we move into the bottom of the first inning. Let's go ahead and get you the batting order for Case Western Reserve. Same top 2 that we've seen all season. The center fielder, Sam Neal, leading things off. Second baseman, Rocco Ma, hitting second. It'll be Alex Capetillo, 2 home runs against John Carroll earlier in the week, hitting third and playing left field. Benjamin Stawicki, red hot. He's a .444 hitter on the year. The first baseman will be hitting cleanup. Jake Ryan, the designated hitter, is batting 5th. Tyler Wipazinski catching and batting 6th. Nate Glasser, the right fielder, in the 7th spot. Jacob Kusha, the third baseman, hits 8th. And Jacob Lott playing shortstop and will bat 9th. Defensively for John Carroll at first base will be Monroe Donnelly. Second baseman is Sam Heaton. The shortstop, Aaron Zawatsky, and at third base, Dominic Mitiga. In the outfield, left field is Patrick Cohane. Center fielder is Michael Anderson. And the right fielder is Derek Penman. Doing the catching, Joe Charpentier, and on the mound will be Casey Anzelk. Anzelk has had limited appearances this season, making just his 3rd appearance of the year. He's a freshman out of Medina, Ohio, Walsh Jesuit High School, and a left-handed pitcher listed at 5'11". On the year, Anzelk, 2 appearances, 1 start, and no record, a 4.50 ERA. Through 4 innings, he's allowed 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He has walked 1, struck out 2. Opponents hitting .353 against him. Anzelk did not make an appearance this season until April 22nd when he pitched against the College of Worcester, one of the top-ranked teams in the country at the time, now number 1 overall in the country. He started that game, his collegiate debut, going 3 innings, allowing 5 hits and 2 runs, walking 1 and striking out 2. He threw 51 pitches through the 3 innings in that game, in what ended up being a 9-6 win for John Carroll. He also pitched an inning just a few days ago when John Carroll matched up against Westminster en route to a 24-9 win. That was the day after their game against Case Western Reserve. One to nothing the score as Anzelk takes the hill. First pitch on the way to Neal. In there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. It'll be Neal, Ma, and Capetillo. Neal, a .264 hitter on the season, 2 for 5 in Tuesday's game. Misses for a ball, 1-1. He had a double and a single, drove in a couple runs. 1 home run on the season. He has 18 runs batted in. And again, he's hit out of the leadoff spot all year. So pretty impressive to drive in that number of runs out of the leadoff spot. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Down and in for a ball. 2-2 the count. Swung on line drive right to the shortstop, and there to make the catch is Zawadski for the first out.
Next up to bat is number 29, Rocco Ma.
So Neal retired, and there's 1 away. And that will bring Rocco Ma to the plate. Rocco's cooled down a little bit. The average at .353 on the year now. Still having a fantastic year, though. First pitch on the way to Ma. Outside for a ball. 1-0. Ma, 11 home runs, 4th in Division III. He's been sitting on that number for a while now, though. Up high, and it's 2-0. He doubled in the 9th inning of the game on Tuesday. Up high, 3-0. I'll get you one way or another. He's a dangerous hitter to pitch to because of his ability to hit the home run. But if you put him on base, he could steal a few bases and hurt you that way as well. 19 stolen bases this season on 20 attempts. That fastball in there for a strike. Ma appeared to be taking all the way against Anzelk. He's had the green light 3-0 a number of times this year. (3-1). Inside, ball 4. So Ma draws the 1-out walk, and that will bring up a red-hot Alex Capetillo.
Now batting number 11, Alex Capetillo.
Capetillo, a .483 hitter on the season, and that number extremely impressive now that he's had a pretty good handful of at-bats under his belt. 3 home runs, 20 runs batted in. He had 2 home runs on Tuesday against John Carroll. Pickoff move to first in the dirt. Ma was diving back in. Again, John Carroll and Case Western Reserve have played each other over the years to know each other's tendencies well enough. And Ma, really, you could just look in the stat sheet and see he steals often. Looking for his 20th stolen base of the year. Is that one swung on line drive center field. It's a base hit. Ma will stop at second, although he thought about moving up on that one. But we'll hold there. It's first and second now with 1 out. And Ben Stawicki to the plate. Well, speaking of red-hot hitters, Ben Stawicki comes up 16 for 36 on the year, hitting at .444. The freshman has not only made his way into the lineup, but he's found his way into the lineup in a position that really wasn't one that you expected him to be in at the beginning of the year, and that's at first base. But he's done a good job adjusting to playing first base. An outfielder on the roster, at least. But he's becoming the everyday first baseman for this team. First pitch stays up high to Stawicki, and it's 1-0. Stawicki, 5 doubles among his 16 hits. He scored 6 runs, driven in 3, making his 8th start of the year, his 15th appearance overall in a game this year. He has just gotten hits. 6-game hitting streak for Stawicki. Little outside, 2-0. Now the 2-0 on the way. Runners go. Pitch taken for a strike, and there'll be no play. It's a double steal. Well, I'll tell you, Charpentier was looking down at third, but really his play there was on the trailing runner at second. He might have had Capetillo if he had thrown down to second. Instead, the count goes to 2-1. There are now 2 in scoring position for Ma's 20th stolen base of the year, the 7th of the season for Capetillo. Chance for Case Western Reserve to tie this one up. Swing and a miss, though, for Stawicki. Looked like a changeup that brings the count to 2-2. Anzelk has kind of a 3/4 delivery, and it gets some lateral motion on that pitch. So all of his pitches will break in on the hands of the righty, move away from a lefty. The 2-2. Swung on, ground ball through the left side. It's a base hit. In to score is Ma. The throw will come to the plate. Capetillo coming in. The throw cut off. And Case Western Reserve has taken a 2-1 lead. So a walk and back-to-back singles. Ben Stawicki now a 7-game hitting streak. 5 RBIs on the season after that 2 RBI hit. The double steal pays off. And now Case Western Reserve takes the lead 2-1. So 3 straight batters have reached, and now the red-hot Jake Ryan to the plate. Ryan, the freshman, batting at .359 on the year, 2 home runs and 14 runs batted in. He has home runs in each of his last 2 games. One against Marietta, the second game of the doubleheader, his pickoff move. I thought that might be close to a balk move, the way he hesitated as he walked off the mound. We'll have to see as this game goes on if that's a factor. Here comes the pitch to the plate. Ryan takes it up and out for a ball, 1-0. Ryan was hurt a little to begin the season, got into the lineup a couple of times as the designated hitter down in Lexington. Has been in there sporadically, but Ryan, a guy who has a chance to be a very good hitter for this team for years to come, and he's really starting to blossom. Of his 14 hits this year, he has 2 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs. One of the home runs at the time gave Case Western Reserve a 3-2 lead over Marietta in the 8th inning of a game they would ultimately lose. That was last Sunday. Called a strike on the inside corner. It's 2-1. The other home run came on Tuesday against John Carroll, with Case Western Reserve trailing by 4. 2 runners on and 1 out in the 9th. Ryan hit a 3-run homer that pulled Case Western Reserve within 1. Again, the team would ultimately lose by 1 in that game, 10-9. Anzelk steps off the mound. Down low for a ball, 3-1. The Spartans can really use an offensive outburst today. As well as they were playing earlier in the year, they've struggled the last 2 or 3 weeks, really since that Wash U series. They're just trying to get back locked in, both at the plate and on the mound. Pitching has not been great. When it has been, the hitting hasn't been very good. Pickoff attempt at first, but Stawicki dives back in. Stawicki get to attempt to steal this year, but again, speaks to the familiarity that these two teams have with each other. And Anzelk has thrown over as much as he has, knowing that Case Western Reserve, an active team on the base paths. There goes Stawicki. No, he stops. And a big curveball on 3-1 swung on and missed at 3-2. Anzelk already up to 21 pitches with just one out here in the first. 3-2 on the way. Swung on, popped up. Right field should be playable. Taking a few steps in and making the catch in right is Penman. And there are two gone in the inning. Stawicki retreats to first. And now Tyler Whipzinski to the plate. Whip hitting a .264 on the year, 4 home runs and 29 runs batted in. He has slowed up considerably. Whip, it's been a season of fits and starts for Whip at the plate. Remember that slow start, had just one hit in his first 20-some-odd at-bats. Started to break out of it towards the end of the Lexington trip. Really had an incredibly hot stretch for a bit. As the first pitch fouled off by Whipzinski, 0-1. And really over the course of the last 3 weeks or so, his bat has cooled off again. Hasn't had an extra base hit, I think, since the NYU series, if I'm not mistaken. Been sitting on 8 doubles, 4 triples, 4 home runs for a bit, and that's a little bit troubling of a sign. You have to imagine the wear and tear of catching with the regularity that Whipzinski has this season might be taking a bit of a toll on his time at the plate here. That being said, he's been so good defensively, it's tough to remove him, even if it does cost him a little bit at the plate. Pitch taken for a ball, 1-1. Now the 1-1 from Anzelk, trying to get out of the inning without any further damage. Curveball called strike, and it's 1-2. Now the 1-2. Swung on, fouled off. Count stays at 1-2. 2-1. Case Western Reserve leading after giving up a run in the top of the first. A 2 RBI single for Ben Stawicki, the freshman. He gave Case Western Reserve its first lead of the day. Whipzinski at the plate, behind in the count, 1-2. Anzelk, the freshman, his 27th pitch of the inning coming up. Fastball lifted in the air, deep towards left center field, going back, reaching up, and making the catch in center is Michael Anderson to end the inning. Case Western Reserve with 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left on base. Second inning coming up, and the Spartans with a 2-1 lead over John Carroll. It'll be Charpentier, Matthew Donnelly, and Michael Anderson due up when we return. Welcome back once again as Case Western Reserve University with 2 runs in the bottom of the first has taken a 2-1 lead on John Carroll. The 6, 7, 8 hitters for the Blue Streaks due up this inning. First pitch to the catcher, Charpentier lined into right, diving and unable to make the catch in right field is Nate Glasser, who gave it a great attempt.
Next up to bat is number 16.
And that'll go as a single into right for Charpentier. Third hit of the game already for John Carroll as they've been aggressive at the plate against Murphy. Batter now will be Matthew Donnelly. Donnelly, a 276 hitter on the season. No relation to the cleanup hitter and first baseman for John Carroll, Monroe Donnelly. He checks his swing on that, holds up, and the count goes to 1-0. Now the 1-0. Called strike, it's 1-1. Donnelly, 24 hits in his 87 at-bats this season. He's making his 23rd start of the year. 1 home run, 12 runs batted in. In the dirt, Whippozinski comes up throwing. The throw is in time for the out. Jacob Lott applied the tag. The throw is a little low, and I'll tell you, one of the things that Lott does better, I think, than most shortstops you see at this level is pick that ball out of the dirt and apply the tag. It's a 2-1 count at the plate, meanwhile. The runner now races. That one line foul, and the count evens 2-2. So 2-2 count with 1 away. Bases are empty. A little bit of hesitation on the base pass there for Charpentier. And if you're going to run on Whippozinski, even on a ball in the dirt, you have to make sure you read it well. Whippozinski has thrown out too many runners this season. That one's fouled off, and it's 2-2 still. Opposing base runners now have just 13 stolen bases on 27 attempts against Whippozinski. In the air, deep towards left, Capetillo back. In front of the warning track makes the catch. And there are 2 gone.
Now batting number 7, Michael Anderson.
So with 2 outs now, Michael Anderson to the plate, a 265 hitter on the year. If you're a catcher and you can throw out 25 to 35% of your runners that try to steal against you, you're doing a pretty good job. Whippozinski has now thrown out over 50% this season. And if he's not in consideration for the Gold Glove at the position, I don't know who is. That's a called strike, and it's 0-1. And it's a called strike, 2 to Anderson. Sometimes the most telling sign about how good a catcher is behind the plate is not necessarily how many guys he throws out. As that's on the outside corner, called strike 3 to end the inning with 3-pitch strikeout. And Murphy will get through the second unscathed as he faces the minimum in the frame. Second inning coming up. It'll be the bottom of the order for Case Western Reserve. Glasser, Kusha, and Lott due up when we return. We'll actually stay with you here for a second and talk a little bit more about Whippozinski. And one of the things that I think worth pointing out is that, again, you could tell from a lot of times from a catcher how good they are about how many steal attempts they have against them. And to put it in comparison, this season, Whippozinski just 26 stolen base attempts against, now 27 if you include the one earlier today. And to put that in perspective, granted, Case Western Reserve runs a lot, but Case Western Reserve has attempted 87 steals this year. John Carroll has attempted 118. There have been 45 attempts against John Carroll. So you could see that teams typically will not run against Whippozinski. He's been that good this year. In the meantime, as we stay with you here in between innings, Anzelk stays on the mound to begin his second frame. Really not a bad first inning for Anzelk. He walked Rocco Ma to start the rally in the first. Then Capetillo with a single into shallow center, and Ben Stawicki grounded one through the left side that scored both. The one thing you're going to want to look out for Anzelk here, and I think it's something that the Spartans in the first inning picked up on is that if you can get a runner to second base against him, Anzelk was not all that concerned with Ma at second base. He was able to take third fairly easily. You talk about stolen bases, and on Ma's stolen base of third in the first inning, really that was stolen on the pitcher. There's nothing the catcher could have done to stop Ma on that one. Meanwhile, Nate Glasser at the plate. First pitch taken up high for a ball, 1-0. Tell you could see Anzelk has the makings of a pretty good pitcher. Left-handed and a good arm angle, decent velocity. As Glasser squares to bunt. I think Glasser was thinking ahead in the count 1-0 he was going to get a fastball there. Instead, it was the curve, and that threw off his rhythm a little bit. He was a bit out in front of that one. I think he tried to lay the bunt down the line. So it's 1-1 now on Glasser, who's hitting at .257 on the year. His average has taken a little bit of a hit the last couple of weeks. That one just misses, 2-1. Speaking about just missing, if you get a chance, go online and try to find the 11th inning play last night, sequence of events, I should say, between SUNY Cortland and SUNY Oswego in the SUNYAC championship. As that's taken for ball 4. And that is the third ball. But Glasser ends up at first base. And that will bring up Jacob Kusha to the plate. Kusha hitting at .231. Tell you more about that play in that SUNYAC playoff game here in just a second. So in the 2 outs, 10th inning, bottom of the 10th inning, tie game, Cortland was batting. The SUNY Oswego pitcher started the game, had gone 10 2/3 innings already, pitched very well. Glasser takes off for second. He'll slide in safely with a stolen base. 17th on as many tries this season for Glasser. We'll see if that was a ball or a strike at the plate. It was a ball, so it's a 1-0 count and now runner in scoring position. I think Glasser is going to be thinking third, maybe not with nobody out here, but he's got to be thinking a steal of third as well from what we've seen so far. See if he can get a walking lead off of second base and maybe take off. Pitch to Kusha. Long look back. And Zelk delivers. Ground ball to short. He tries to backhand it, but unable to make the play. That'll go as an error on the shortstop. Glasser has to hold on that one, so it's first and second now with nobody out. And the batter at the plate is the freshman, Jacob Lott, a .264 hitter. So in the 11th inning, 2 outs, nobody on. Colin Bavard at the plate for SUNY Cortland. It's a 1-2 count, and the SUNY Oswego pitcher thought he had strike 3 on a pitch, and it looked pretty good. There's a camera angle from directly behind the plate, and that's the Twitter video that got sent out and that's been posted. On the next pitch, Bavard hits a game-winning walk-off home run. And the SUNY Oswego pitcher was, let's say, disgruntled after not getting that strike call, as we have a called first strike here. And I think he took it into that next pitch, and Bavard just put it over the fence. So SUNY Cortland, one of the top-ranked teams in the country, picked up the win in the SUNYAC tournament. Here's the 0-1. And Lott squares to bunt, fouls it back. It's 0-2. Boy, there was a miscommunication there. The shortstop was moving back to second base when Anzelk delivered the pitch. And that left that entire left side of the infield open. With Lott bunting, it didn't make a difference, but Lott would have had to just send a soft roller towards that shortstop side to get an infield hit. Now the count at 0-2. And Zelk delivers. Swing and a miss to the breaking ball in the dirt, strike 3. Lott takes off for first, but The base is occupied, so he'll have to head back to the dugout.
Now batting number 6, Samuel Neal.
And so with one gone, now back to the top of the order. Samuel Neal, who lined out to short his first time up at the plate. Hitting at .262 on the year. Let's see if Case Western Reserve gets aggressive here on the base paths with one out. Good speed in the lead runner, Glasser. Kusha, a good base runner as well. And Zelk paying a little closer attention to second base than he was earlier in the day. So that's taken down low for a ball, 1-0. The shortstop relaying some signs to the catcher, and we'll talk about that here in a second. First the pitch. Runners go, another huge jump. It's a called strike, but both runners will advance, and it's a double steal once again. So the second time today, Case Western Reserve has had a double steal. The count goes to 1-1 on Neal. Last time it resulted in a pair of runs coming across on the next at bat. And now Neal, with a runner at second, has a lot of side on that left side of the infield with the shortstop cheating over, and he is a good hitter in terms of taking it the other way, just trying to poke it through that hole. Let's see if he does it here. The 1-1. Curveball. Little high. It's 2-1. Talking earlier about the shortstop, Aaron Zawadski, relaying some signs to the catcher, and what he was doing there was saying whether he was going to cover the bag, whether he wanted a pickoff or not on that. That's up and in. 3-1 now the count on Neal. First base is open, and if you're Anzelk, I'll tell you, it's kind of a no-win situation here. You have to go after Neal in this case, even with first base open. Behind the count 3-1, but Rocco Mall waiting out on deck, just too dangerous a hitter to not go after Neal here with one out. And he comes with a good curve, swing and a miss there, and it's 3-2. Well, do you dare come back to that curve here, 3-2, with the risk of loading up the bases? Here's the 3-2. Swung on, lifted in the air, right field deep, should get the run in. Coming in is Penman, he makes the catch. Tagging from third is Glasser. Here comes the throw, it's cut off, and it'll be a sacrifice fly for Neal as Glasser comes in to score to make it a 3-1 lead for Case Western Reserve. Kusha to third on the play. And now Rocco Ma at the plate. A walk and run scored his first time up. He's hitting at .350 on the year. 11 home runs, 32 runs batted in. RBI opportunity for Ma with 2 outs if he can get a base hit. Good curve for a called strike, and it's 0-1. You are seeing teams more and more approach Ma like a hitter who has 11 home runs. They pitch to him as if he is one of the elite hitters in the country, which this season he has been. But that means a lot of curves, a lot of changeups, not a lot of good fastballs to hit. And I think in the second half of the year, that has been the book on Ma and how you get him out is that if you're going to throw him a fastball, don't throw it in the strike zone. You want to throw your breaking pitches for strikes against him. It's been pretty successful. There's another curve for a strike, and it's 1-2. Again, for Ma, that's the next set of adjustments that he has to make in his career. Now that teams have identified him as the main threat in this lineup, he's going to have to kind of change up his approach a little bit. 2-2 now the count. Where he was so successful early in the year was that he could wait and sit on a fastball, especially early in the count, that the pitcher might just be trying to throw to get ahead on him, and he just hasn't gotten those with as much frequency. Fastball there, called a strike on the inside corner, and Ma goes down looking for the third out of the inning. Well, boy, that's good pitching by a young pitcher in Ansel. Curveball, 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 and he sneaks the fastball past Maw for the third strike and the third out of the frame. Third inning coming up, 9-1-2 for John Carroll. It'll be Heaton, Kohane, and Zawadzki when we return. Well, Case Western Reserve gave Ben Murphy an extra run to work with. It's now 3-1 lead. 9-1-2 for John Carroll. Pitch taken up high for a ball, 1-0. Talking earlier about John Carroll and their chances to get into the OAC tournament. And again, they need a lot of things to go their way today as that one's fouled back. And the count goes to 1-1. And again, it created a little bit of an interesting dynamic to today's game if you're John Carroll. Because again, you couldn't start one of your top two. You had to keep them on the shelf as that misses outside, 2-1. For tomorrow's doubleheader against Baldwin Wallace, that was originally supposed to be yesterday, but they pushed it back till Sunday. 2-1. Swung on, lifted in the air. Left field, Capetillo coming over and makes the catch in fair territory. Nice job by Capetillo, who's relatively new to the outfield. He retires Heaton. Back to the top of the order now with Patrick Kohane to the plate. Kohane 0 for 1 with a pop out to second his first time up. But really, if you're John Carroll, if you want to play the game of which game could help your chances of getting an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament the most, this game would certainly be it. Called strike to Kohane, and it's 0-1. That being said, I think if you lose any of the games left on your schedule, if you're John Carroll, you could pretty much kiss any shot at the NCAA tournament goodbye. But I'll tell you, this is a good hitting John Carroll team. From my perspective, I haven't seen their top few starters yet. As that one popped foul, Kohane stays alive as the count stays at 0-2. Again, I haven't seen their top few starters. Fred Moore. John Merrill, 9 starts on the year. Another one fouled away. Steven Virost. But this is a team that can hit. Dangerous squad at the plate. Ooh, that just misses outside, 1-2. A little comeback on that pitch from Murphy. Might have just missed off that outside corner. Whip tried to frame that one up on the outside. Here's the 1-2. That one a little low. 2-2. Good at bat here for Kohane, who's really matured into a fantastic hitter at the plate. A lot of power out of that leadoff spot. Hits that in the air, right field. Glasser is there. 2 gone.
Next up to bat is number 11, Aaron Zawadzki.
So 2 outs now. Aaron Zawadzki to the plate, a .339 hitter on the year. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout swinging in his first at bat of the game. Murphy looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Called a strike, and it's 0-1. Murphy faced the minimum last inning, was helped with the caught stealing, so if he can retire Zawadzki here, it'd be his first true 1-2-3 inning of the day. Up high, 1-1. He's up to 41 pitches now, efficient early on here for Murphy. Fouled off, 1-2. That one sent in the air towards the gap, right center field. It's down for extra bases. Glasser has it in right. He'll get it in quickly enough to hold Zawadzki to a double. But a two-out double, and that is the second time today that John Carroll has a two-out double. Zawadzki on at second, and now Dominic Mitiga, who doubled with 2 outs his first time up, will step up to the plate. Mitiga is a .374 hitter on the season, and a dangerous opportunity here for Carroll. Murphy trying to work around another 2-out jam. Down low and out for a ball, 1-0. In the first inning, it was a Mitiga double followed by a Monroe Donnelly single to bring across John Carroll's only run of the game so far. Trying to replicate that here. The 1-0. Called strike, 1-1. Down and out, 2-1. Three and one. Have to be careful here if you're Murphy. And it's outside, ball 4. It's not the end of the world, but now you have to take care of business against Monroe Donnelly. Donnelly 1 for 1 with an RBI single his first time up. Batting at .333 on the year. From the stretch, Murphy's first pitch. Foul tip back into Whippazinski's glove, 0-1. Tying runs on the base paths. Go ahead run at the plate. The 0-1. Lifted foul and out of play, 0-2. And so a couple of pitches now for Murphy to have the opportunity to play with ahead in the count. Here's Murphy's 0-2. Well outside, 1-2. He has had trouble locating that outside fastball a little bit in this inning. He threw a good one to Cohane with 2 strikes that looked like a called strike 3. Missed a little outside. He hangs that one a bit, and it's looped into center field for a base hit. Neal has it. Runner will come around, and he'll come in to score. The throw will hold the runner at second, but it's an RBI single for Donnelly. He's driven in both runs today for John Carroll. And it's now 3-2, the tying run in scoring position at second base. Derek Penman, who flew out to center field his first time up, will step to the plate. So that one for Murphy on a 1-2 pitch ahead in the count, and that's when he's going to want back. Called strike to start off Penman in its own 1. But Murphy just caught a little bit too much of the plate with that fastball to Donnelly. Too good a hitter to do that. So now it's a 3-2 game. Looped foul, and again Murphy ahead 0-2. This has been where Murphy's had a little bit of trouble today. Trying to get that strikeout pitch or that finishing pitch when he's gotten ahead in the count. The 0-2. In the air. Shallow left. Charging is Capetillo. Diving, and he can't make the catch. The run will come in to score. Going to second on the play is Penman. It'll be a double into left field. And it's all tied now, 3-3. So that's 4 straight batters to reach since Murphy retired the first 2 in the inning. And now the batter at the plate, Joe Charpentier, who is 1 for 1 with a base hit today. And a hit here could give John Carroll the lead. Well, Penman didn't get a lot of that one, but just enough, and found the right spot in the outfield. Second double of the inning, third of the game for John Carroll. Fastball at the knees, 0-1. Charpentier, 371 hitter on the year. Making his 16th start of the season, he's driven in 11. Singled and was caught stealing his last time up. In the dirt, Wipaszynski smothers it, and the count stays at 1-1. The 1-1 for Murphy. Popped up, fouling out of play, and again to 2 strikes. Well, getting to 2 strikes has not been the issue this inning for Murphy. He was 1-2 against Zawadski when he doubled. He was 1-2 against Monroe Donnelly when he singled, and 0-2 against Penman when he doubled. It's 1-2 on Charpentier with 2 outs and 2 in scoring position. Pitch in the dirt, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on ground ball towards the middle, but there to get it is Lott. He picks it up, throws to first, a little low, but good play by Stawicki to field it cleanly, and that ends the frame. But John Carroll with 2 runs on 3 hits and a walk, all with 2 outs in the inning, ties the game at 3-3. We'll move into the bottom of the 3rd inning, and the heart of the Case Western Reserve order due up. Capetillo, Stawicki, and Ryan when we return. New life for freshman Casey Anzelk on the mound. After John Carroll evens the score at 3-3. Bottom of the 3rd inning coming up, and if you're Anzelk here, this is an inning where you just want to kind of put your foot down. Get your team back in the dugout and hitting as quickly as possible. He'll have the heart of the order for Case Western Reserve here. Tough heart of the order. Capetillo, Stawicki, and Ryan. Capetillo 1 for 1 with a run scored. One of the 2 Case Western Reserve hits today. First pitch a little high to Capetillo, 1-0. Last inning, Case Western Reserve scored without the benefit of a hit in the inning. A walk, an error, 3 stolen bases. As Capetillo takes that down and in, 2-0. And a sacrifice fly brought across the third run of the game for Case Western Reserve, put them ahead 3-1 at the time. But 2 runs in the top of the third have tied this game up, and we're all even heading into the bottom. The 2-0 on the way to Capetillo, a .489 hitter this year. Up high for a ball, 3-0. Mark Gross has begun to warm in the bullpen, as that pitch taken up high for a ball, ball 4. So Capetillo draws the leadoff walk, and if you're Anzelk in this situation, that's not how you wanted to start off this inning. After your team gives you new life in the game, tying the score with 2 runs, walking the leadoff hitter is less than ideal. Stawicki 1 for 1 at the plate. Big jump for Capetillo and no chance to get the runner. Second stolen base of the day for Capetillo, is 8th of the season. Case Western Reserve is running all over Anzelk as the count 1-0 on Stawicki with a chance to drive the run in. There's already the 6th stolen base through the first 3 innings for Case Western Reserve. Stawicki skies that one high. Should be an easy out in the infield. Back to get it is Heaton, and he makes the catch for the out.
Now batting number 26, Jake Ryan.
So with 1 out now, Jake Ryan to the plate. Well, as hot as Stawicki has been, it's tough to question him at the plate, but after 5 straight balls to start the inning, Anzelk will look the runner back. Now the second baseman relaying some signs to Anzelk. See how Capetillo does here if he tries to get a big jump off the bag with Ryan at the plate. That's down low for a ball. It's 1-0. Line drive, left field. That's down for a base hit. Capetillo rounds the corner at first. It's third, excuse me. He'll come in to score. Jake Ryan continues to hit the ball well, drives in another run, and Case Western Reserve back on top, 4-3. So now Tyler Whippazinski to the plate, 0 for 1 with a fly out to center. And before he can come up, we'll get, at the very least, what will be a meeting on the mound. There is no action as of yet in the John Carroll bullpen, but that might change quickly. As much as anything, as the entire infield comes in here, this might just be a reset to talk about how to control this running game a bit. And Ryan, not a frequent runner, but that really hasn't mattered very much early on here against Anzelk. Ryan 1 for 1 on stolen base attempts this season. Again, 6 stolen bases through the first 2 1/3 innings at the plate for Case Western Reserve. Whippazinski at the plate, second and bat of the game. Pickoff attempt down to first, not in time. Called strike, and it's 0-1. So 2 of the first 3 batters this inning have reached. Walk to Capetillo, single for Ryan. Again, Ansel, you could see just not comfortable with runners on base, and especially with an aggressive team like Case Western Reserve. That misses outside for a ball, 1-1. And, you know, honestly, if I'm Anzelk here, I think the best thing you can do at times is just step off the mound. Right now, Ryan dancing off the bag a little bit. If you want to kind of slow things down, just step off. Make sure you're comfortable. It's not taking away from your approach with the hitter at the plate, which I think has happened a little today as well, where maybe he's gotten a little bit unnerved by the running game at times. 1-2, pickoff attempt to first, not in time. Action in the John Carroll bullpen. Carter Samancic warming up out there, I believe. Here's the 1-2. Runner goes. The pitch swung on, grounded to second. Could be 2 to short for 1. Back on to first. In time, a 4-6-3 double play. Or did they call the runner safe? So they call the runner safe at second. It'll go as a 4-6-3 put out at first. Just 1 out there. Ryan successfully at second base. And so 2 outs in the inning. And let's see if that costs John Carroll an extra run here. No error on the play. No hit either. It just goes as a put out and the runner advancing as Nate Glasser steps up. Glasser walked and came around to score a run in the second inning. Breaking ball down low, 1-0. Foul back, 1-1. Glasser, 257 hitter on the year. While the average has dipped a little, Glasser still has had a tendency this season to get the big hits when they've counted. Had some big moments in that NYU series, especially that last game. 1-1. Ground ball, third base side, and it's called foul. Boy, that did not miss by much. Line down that third base line. Looked like it hit just before the bag in fair territory and then might have skipped out into foul territory immediately after. So it's a 1-2 count on Glasser. Ryan on at second, 4-3, Case Western Reserve leading. The pitch. Curveball line down the line and right. If it's fair, should get the run in, but it will go foul and out of play, and the count stays at 1-2. So Glasser going line to line here. A little foul down the left side. A little foul down the right side. I think reason speaks of this next hit should be a base hit right up the middle, right? 1-2 the count. Curveball taken, called strike 3, and that ends the inning. Case Western Reserve gets a run on an RBI single for Jake Ryan. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left on. 4th inning coming up. Bottom of the order for the Blue Streaks. Matthew Donnelly, followed by Michael Anderson and Sam Heaton when we return. Welcome back. As a new pitcher on the mound for Case Western Reserve will be Mark Gross, making his first relief appearance of the year, second of his career. Ground ball chopped up the middle by Matthew Donnelly. Throw on to first from Lott. In time, one gone. Well, Gross trying to get back on track. After what has been a rocky stretch for him. He's now 4-4 on the year through 9 starts with a 4.13 ERA. Remember, through his first 6 starts or so, his ERA was right around 1. So his last 3 or 4 starts have not been good. That one fouled back, and they count 0-1 on Anderson. '61 1/3 innings pitched for Gross. He's struck out 41, walked 16. Opponents hitting .252 against him. Curveball line drive into center field, and it's a base hit. Anderson with his first hit of the game, 7th hit for John Carroll.
Next up to bat is number 1, Sam Heaton.
4-3 the score. Case Western Reserve leading. Ben Murphy done. 3 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Down and in for a ball, 1-0. Game plan today for Case Western Reserve head coach Matt Englander may have been just to say, hey, we're going to give Murphy 3, we're going to give Gross 3. We'll see if maybe it's Casey McConaughey. Is that one ground ball hit over to second, flipped to short for 1, back on to first, double play, inning over. 4-6-3 double play turned by the Case Western Reserve infield in a very quick 4th inning. We'll move into the bottom of the frame. 8-9-1 for Case Western Reserve. Kusha, Lott, and Neal due up when we return.
Number 19, Jacob Kusha.
4-3 the score. Case Western Reserve leading in this one, up by a run. Casey and Zelk on the hill. We'll face Kusha, Lott, and Neal this inning. Case Western Reserve has scored at least a run each of the first 3 frames, as that's taken up high for a ball, 1-0. Kusha reached on an error to short his last time up. Hit a ground ball. Zawadzki tried to backhand and just couldn't pick it up cleanly. Rips that ball down the line and left. It's a fair ball. Land right out in front of the warning track and roll all the way to the wall. Pulling in its second is Kusha. And a double to start off the frame. Well, this has been what we've seen from Case Western Reserve really the last couple of weeks. Been a run here, a run there, just try to pound out hits bit by bit, take advantage of walks. They've done that today. And Zelk has walked 3 batters. All 3 have come around to score. Third straight inning the leadoff man has been on for Case Western Reserve. In each of the previous 2 innings, those runs have come in to score. Light at the plate. Struck out swinging his first time up. Swung on, ground ball. That one will get through the left side. It's a base hit. Kusha stays at third, held up by head coach Matt Englander, but Lott first pitch swinging, grounds one through the left side, and now runners on the corners with nobody out. Let's see if anything's going on the base paths here as Sam Neal steps to the plate. I'll tell you, I think this is a situation, maybe a safety squeeze or something like that. Give it a try. Neal's such a good bunter. Pitch taken outside for a ball, and it's 1-0 on Neal. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a little squeeze play here. Neal 0 for 1 on the day, a line out and a sacrifice fly. Swinging away and takes it for a called strike, 1-1. Neal, a .262 hitter on the season. The RBI was his 19th of the season. And again, that's 19 RBIs in 35 games, all out of the leadoff spot. The 1-1. Swung on, line drive, base hit into center field. Kusha can walk home, stopping at second is Lott. Neal with an RBI single. He has 4 RBIs in the last 2 games now. And that one will give Case Western Reserve a 5-3 lead. Now a chance for Ma to add on here, and let's see if Anzelt gets to face him. There has been action in the bullpen now for a little bit for John Carroll. Looks like it's a different person up out there. I believe Nicholas D'Angelo, if I'm not mistaken. We'll have to confirm that. And the call of the bullpen will come. Well, it won't be D'Angelo. It will be, instead, 42, Carter Samancic, who will come in. We'll get you some more information on him. 5-3 the score. Case Western Reserve leading and threatening with 2 on and nobody out in the 4th when we return. Welcome back. New pitcher on the mound for John Carroll is Carter Samancic. Samancic out of Aurora, Ohio, a junior, 6'1". Wouldn't be shocked if he's pretty familiar with Ben Stawicki, the freshman out of Aurora. Samancic 2-0 on the year with 10.80 ERA through 5 appearances. He has 1 save. 8 1/3 innings of work. He's given up 12 hits, a .353 opponent's average. He's yielded 11 runs, 10 of those earned, striking out 7 and walking 5. Rocco Maw at the plate. Swings the first pitch, grounds it back towards the pitcher. It's fielded by the second baseman to second for 1, on to first, not in time. And so the lead runner retired. 1-4 on the putout. Mott to third on the play. 1 out now in the inning. And the runners on the corners for Alex Capetillo. And this is one of those where if you're Capetillo, you have to be patient at the plate here. If for no other reason, you have to give Ma a chance to run. Ma already with 1 stolen base today, his 20th of the season. I have to imagine he's taking first pitch. He is, and takes it inside for a ball, 1-0. I think, again, in this situation, if you're Capetillo, you almost have to take until you get a strike. See if Maw's running. He is. Pitch taken. There's strike 1. Throw down to second. It's a good throw, but it rolls out of the second baseman's glove, and safe at second base with his second steal of the game and 21st of the season is Rocco Maw. So now if you're Capetillo, you can get a little bit more aggressive. But yeah, you had to wait there until you got that first strike. You had to let Maw try to take second base, and that's exactly what he did. Good job at the plate by the senior left fielder Capetillo. 1-1 the count. Second and third now with 1 away, and an RBI opportunity for Cappy. Little outside, 2-1. Cappy 1 for 1 on the day. A single and a run scored in the first, a walk and a run scored his last time up. Pop sky high, foul territory. If it stays in play, and it will, should be the second out of the inning, and it is. So Capetillo flies out in foul territory. Now Ben Stawicki will be the batter. And again, I imagine Stawicki here facing a familiar opponent. Unless they missed each other on the varsity team. Got to imagine that these two played on the same team together, both from Aurora High School. Samancic, the junior. Stawicki, the freshman. First pitch swinging, and it's a swing and a miss, 0-1. Chopper, third base side, could be trouble. Scoops, throws in time to get the out. Good play at third base. And that will end the inning. So Case Western Reserve gets another run across on an RBI single by Sam Neal, but leaves 2 in scoring position. And we'll move into the 5th. 5-3 the score. Case Western Reserve on top of John Carroll. It will be the top of the order for the Blue Streaks. Cohane, Zawatsky, and Mitiga due up when we return. Well, welcome back as Case Western Reserve University leading 5-3 after warm-ups finished up. Head coach Matt Englander walked out to check on catcher Tyler Wipazinski. Whip seems to be okay. Whatever was ailing him, and now Mark Rose, who allowed a base hit last inning but got a 4-6-3 double play to get out of it, needed just 6 pitches to get 3 outs. And the fourth begins the fifth with a strike to Cohen. Down low for a ball, 1-1. Little low, 2-1. Didn't miss by much. Cohen 0 for 2. 2-1. Swung on, ground ball toward short. Backhanded nicely by Lott. Throw to first is low, and Stawicki can't dig it out. Not an easy play, but that'll be an error on the throw by Lott. And Cohen safe at first. First error of the game for Case Western Reserve. So there'll be a runner on, nobody out, and getting into that dangerous part of the lineup for John Carroll with Aaron Zawadzki coming to the plate. Zawadzki, a .341 hitter. 1 for 2 today with a double and a run scored in the third. It starts off with a called strike and its 0-1. Gross has induced his fair share of double plays so far this season, including the one last inning. Cohen, a pretty good base stealer, 16 stolen bases on 20 attempts. We'll see if he's running here to try to break up a potential double play. Not going on that pitch as it's fouled back, 0-2. Again, it's tough to run on Tyler Wipazinski. As that one line drive towards second, knocked by Maw over towards second base. Lott has it, steps on the bag, and a slightly unconventional fielder's choice there. Score at 4-6. A scorcher to second base that Maw was fortunate deflected right to Lott. Also aided by the fact that Cohen could not take off early, had to wait to see if that ball hit the ground or not. And so by the time Lott was able to pick it up, it was easy for him to just step on the bag and get the out. So one gone. And that's low for a ball. To Dominic Mitiga, 374 hitter on the season. He's been on base both times, doubled and walked, scored 2 runs. Drops that one toward short. Tough play for Lott. He can't handle it. And that'll be the second error of the inning on Lott. Zawadzki to second on the play. So an error there. 2 errors in the frame now, both against Lott, the shortstop. Now, again, not an easy ball to handle. And one where you kind of get caught in between. Lott was charging, tried to backhand it, and it just snuck underneath his glove. So first and second now with 1 away, and Monroe Donnelly, who's done a good portion of the damage today. 2 RBI singles today, 1 in the first, 1 in the third. And cranks that one foul and out of play, 0-1. Donnelly has now driven in 31 runs this season. 14 doubles, 4 triples, 1 home run. Called strike, and it's 0-2. Well, the defense has not been great this inning for Case Western Reserve. There to start the frame for Lott, then a hard hit line drive that, Maw did all he could with, but certainly you would prefer to either catch it on the line or if he is going to one-hop it, try to turn it into a double play. Not easy to do by any means, but they did get an out on the play, and then that one for Lott should have been the second out of the inning. It's a 1-2 count now on Donnelly. Fastball down and out, 2-2. One away, 2 on. Tying runs on the base paths for John Carroll. Runners go, the pitch taken, throw goes down to third, and it is in time for the out. So it's a ball at the plate, the count goes full. Mitiga advances on the play. Zawadzki out, caught stealing, 2-5 on the putout. No stolen base on the play for Mitiga. As if you're a trailing runner in that situation, you do not get credit for a steal. But now the count full, 3-2, and a chance to get out of the frame for Gross. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed at strike 3. Well, an unconventional inning, but one that works out in Gross's favor. No runs, no hits, 2 errors, a man left on base. 5th inning coming up, bottom of the 5th. Ryan, Wipazinski, Glasser, 5, 6, and 7 in the order when we return. Carter Semanchik back out on the mound after coming in relief last inning. Enter the game with 2 on and nobody out. A run already in the frame and did a good job getting the next 3 batters out. Kept it at a 5-3 Case Western Reserve lead. We can now get you the final line on starting pitcher Casey and Zelk, who allows 5 runs all earned on 6 hits and 3 walks through 3 innings, struck out 3. He threw 70 pitches. Semanchik now up, or on the mound. And Jake Ryan facing him. Ryan 1 for 2 today with an RBI single. First pitch down low for a ball, 1-0. Ryan hit .366 hitter on the year. 2 home runs, 15 runs batted in. 2-0 the count. He has 15 RBIs now and just 14 games played. He has had that kind of power this season, though. Again, a guy that is expected to make a big impact in this lineup going forward. Called strike, 2-1. Looked like he was taking all the way, 2-0. Ryan, Wipazinski, Glasser, the 3-2 up in the frame. Swung on, ground ball through the left side, another base hit for Ryan. So Ryan with a single. So nobody out, a runner on, and Tyler Wipazinski to the plate, 0 for 2 today. A fly out and an odd 4.63 put out in the game so far for Wipazinski, who's down to 260 on the year. Whip trying to snap out of a bit of a funk. First pitch misses down and out for a ball, 1-0. Case Western Reserve has scored at least 1 run in each of the last 4 innings. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth. The leadoff man is on for the 4th straight inning for Case Western Reserve after that Ryan single. And that runner has come around to score in each of the previous 3 innings. The 1-0. Fastball hung, but Whip pops it up, foul and out of play. 1-1. That was a good pitch for Whip to hit. Just couldn't connect, make good contact on it. 1-1 on the way. Samanchik looks over at first and will throw over. Ryan gets back. The 1-1. Ground ball toward short. Could be two if they hurried. A second for one on to first. Not in time. Lipazinski beats it out. So a fielder's choice on that one. Ryan out 6-4 at second base. One away in the inning. And Nate Glasser to the plate. Glasser 0 for 1 in the game. A walk and a run scored in the second. Struck out looking in the third. Team's now even with 7 hits apiece. 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for John Carroll today. That's a called strike, 0-1. 5 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for Case Western Reserve. The 0-1 from Samanchik. Swung on, hit softly down the first baseline, picked up by Samanchik, who flips on to the first baseman for the out. 1-3 on the putout. Lipazinski moves up to second. 2 gone in the inning. It's up to Jacob Kusha to try to drive in the run. Kusha has been on base twice, reached on an error by the shortstop in the second inning, and then doubled down the left field line his last time up. Trying to get a RBI hit here, with Lipazinski leading at second in 2 away. First pitch in the dirt, 1-0. Good job by the catcher, Charpentier, to smother that and prevent Lipazinski from getting an extra bag. Samanchik trying to hold Case Western Reserve off the board for the first time in an inning today. It's 5-3 the score, bottom of the 5th. The 1-0. Good breaking ball in the inside corner, 1-1. Little low. 2-1. Popped up. See if that stays in play. And it will, but unable to make the diving catch is Charpentier, the catcher. And the count goes to 2-2. Beautiful day, and some of the Case Western Reserve students out here enjoying it. Nice bunch of fans with some blankets out down the line in right field on that grassy berm. Two on the way. Line drive, foul. Kusha a little bit out in front of that one. Kusha batting at .236 on the year, average up a little bit with the double earlier today. his 10th double of the season. He's tied for the team lead with Jacob Lott and Rocco Ma in that category. Kush has driven in 20 already, trying to make a 21 here as Whipzinski leads off his second. 2 outs, a 2-2 count. Samanchik delivers. On the outside corner, called strike 3, and that ends the inning. So Case Western Reserve held off the board today. Whipzinski left stranded at second. We'll move into the 6th inning. Penman, Charpentier, and Matthew Donnelly. 4, 5, 6, and 7 in the order for John Carroll, due up when we return. Pair of scoreless innings so far for Mark Gross. Got the help of a double play in the 4th, a caught stealing in the 5th. He's allowed some base runners, although 5th inning was 2 errors that resulted in the few base runners. Gave up a base hit in the 4th. He's in his 3rd inning of relief work. And we'll face the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for John Carroll. Derek Penman, Joe Charpentier, and Matthew Donnelly. Penman 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI double. That was back in the 3rd. He also has a fly out to center in his previous at bat. That one in the 1st inning. First pitch to Penman, a .339 hitter. Takes it down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. Penman facing Gross for the first time today and rips one into right field. It's a base hit. So, runner on to start the frame for John Carroll. Second straight inning, they've had the leadoff base runner on. Joe Charpentier to the plate, a .365 hitter, grounded out to short his last time up. Also had a base hit and was caught stealing in the 2nd. First pitch slider misses outside, 1-0. Now the 1-0. Fastball grounded foul. That was going to be ball 2, it looked like. But Charpentier tried to turn on the inside pitch, fouled it off. So the count evens 1-1. 13 stolen bases this season for Penman, but with 2 caught stealings already today for John Carroll, I imagine he'd be careful out there. Gross throws over. Curveball, a little high. 2-1. Mark Gross, Jr., out of Butler, Pennsylvania. Fastball popped up. Whipzinski giving a long look, but it lands out of play. And it's 2-2. Two and two the count. Nobody out. Runner on at first for John Carroll. Penman takes his lead. Gross to the plate. Swung on line drive. Left field. That'll get down in front of Capetillo for a base hit. Penman stops at second. But another 2-strike single yielded to John Carroll. It's been an issue all day. They've been a good 2-strike hitting team. So now first and second. Time runs are on the base paths. Head coach Matt Englander comes out to talk to Mark Gross. Matthew Donnelly, the designated hitter, the batter up. 0 for 2 on the day with a fly out to left and a ground out to short. Donnelly listed at 6'6" on the roster. Tall left-handed hitter. Again, no relation to the cleanup hitter and first baseman Monroe Donnelly. Looks like the bullpen will begin to work for Case Western Reserve. See Corey Brown heading out there. First pitch down and in, 1-0. Donnelly showing no signs of sacrificing yet. He's a .270 hitter on the year. Kusha playing in a few steps at third as that one's in the dirt, 2-0. Well, Gross is going to have to find a way to work out of this jam. 2 on, nobody out. Ground ball towards first. DeWicki has it, flings it to second for 1, back onto first, and not in time. Gross came over to cover, and I think some confusion there between Gross and Stawicki. Remember, Stawicki, not a usual first baseman, although he's played well there. So it'll go as a fielder's choice to first. 3-6 Charpentier out on the play at second. Now runners on the corners and 1 away.
Now batting number 7, Michael Anderson.
The batter will be the center fielder, Michael Anderson, who will hit here with runners on the corners. Anderson looking to the dugout to get signs. Infield stays at double play depth for Case Western Reserve as that pitch from Gross misses outside, 1-0. Penman at third. Donnelly at first. 1 away. Pickoff attempt to first. And although it caught Donnelly a little bit off guard, Stawicki could not get the tag down in time. Called strike, 1-1 now on Anderson. Boy, you got to imagine Donnelly, who has stolen 4 bases on 5 attempts this season, just a lot of body to try to get back into the bag at first. He's listed at 6'6". Another throw down, but he dives back in. Another pickoff try. And Gross has come close on a few of those. 1-1. Fastball. Low, 2-1. Anderson, a .270 hitter. 1 for 2 today. A single against Gross his last time up. 3-1. Second base is open, but you don't want to play with fire here if you're Gross. 3-1 on the way. Pickoff down to first, not in time. Fouled off. Count goes full, 3-2. Another throw down, not in time. Ground ball hit towards third. Kusha has it to second for one. Throw on to first won't be in time. Coming in to score is Penman on the play. 2 outs in the inning, though, as John Carroll cuts the lead back to a run, 5-4 the score. So an RBI for Anderson. He'll be on at first now with 2 away. And the batter at the plate is Sam Heaton, the 9-hitter in the lineup. First pitch swinging, fouls it off, 0-1. Heaton is 0 for 2 today. He's grounded into a double play and flown out to left. 5-4 the score. Case Western Reserve leading. Has led since the bottom of the first. Actually, the game was tied 3-3 at one point as well. That's a called strike, 0-2. Gross a strike away from getting through the 6th, with just the 1 run in and a lead still intact. Hard hit ball down the line and right, but foul. 0-2 still. Little high, 1-2. Down low, runner goes. The throw will go towards center field. Maw cuts it off. There'll be a stolen base as the count goes to 2-2 at the plate. So Anderson now in scoring position, representing the potential game-tying run. Heaton a chance to drive him in. It's a 2-2 count. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Curveball line drive that will get down in left field for a base hit. Holding at third is Anderson. A little bloop single just over the outstretched glove of Lott at short. It's now first and third with 2 away. And back to the top of the order, and maybe the most dangerous hitter in this John Carroll lineup coming to the plate. And Patrick Cohane, who is 0 for 3 on the day. A pop out, a fly out, reached on an error his last time up. That error was his only at bat against Gross. Came in the 5th inning. Lines the first one, fouling out of play, 0-1. Cohane, 8 home runs, 11 doubles, 2 triples. He's driven in 21. He scored 46 this year. Ground ball towards second. There is Maw, his throw to first in time for the out, and that ends the inning. So John Carroll gets a run back, but leaves the go-ahead or the tying and go-ahead runs on the base paths. And the score will be 5-4 as we move into the 6th inning, bottom of the 6th coming up. For Case Western Reserve, 9-1-2. Lott, Neal, and Maw due up when we return. It's been a close one all day. Case Western Reserve has had some chances to pull away, but hasn't been able to fully take advantage of it. And likewise for John Carroll, they've had some chances to score a few more. They haven't taken advantage of all their opportunities. Each team with 6 runners left on base. Don't forget about the 2 caught stealings and the double play turn by Case Western Reserve to erase a few extra base runners. And the Spartans now lead 5-4 as we move into the 6th. Semanchik back out onto the mound. His second full inning of work after coming in relief with nobody out in the 4th. Got the final 3 outs of the 4th. Allowed a leadoff base hit in the 5th. That was all. And now facing Lott here, who's 1 for 1 with a single and a strikeout swinging. It's low and it's 2-0. Both of Lott's previous at-bats came against Casey and Zelk. 2-0 on the way. Swing and a miss. Count goes to 2-1 on Lott. A .267 hitter on the year. Turns on that one, but sends it foul. So the count evens 2-2. Well, Lott is not a big guy, but he can generate some power. He has 2 home runs this season, both of them coming in the same game against Brandeis. Two-two pitch. Swung on, back towards the pitcher. Semanchik has it. Throw to first in time. And there is one gone.
Next up to bat is number 6, Samuel Neal.
So with 1 out, Samuel Neal to the plate. Neal 1 for 2 on the day. He was the last batter to face Anzelk, the starter. Singled and drove in a run back in the 4th to chase Anzelk from the game. He's 1 for 2 in the day. Also has a sacrifice fly. Hitting at .267. Squares to bunt, or at least looks like he's about to. Pulls it back and takes it low for a ball, 1-0. You get the feeling like Case Western Reserve is going to need some more runs in this one. The way this game has gone. Swung on, ground ball towards first. Backhanded, throw on to first is in time, just a step ahead of Neal. And Matt Englander is going to come out and argue that one. I mean, there's not going to be any justice here for Englander. You know, they'll check with the home plate umpire here, too, and we'll see. I'm not sure what the change would be. That's the first base umpire's call, so if he's going to make that call, you got to imagine he's going to stay with it, and they will. So 2 outs now in the inning. And now Rocco Maud to the plate with the bases empty. Ma waiting for his first hit of the game. Takes it down low for a ball, 1-0. Rocco's been on base twice today, actually. Yeah, twice. He walked and scored a run in the 1st. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. And cracks that one deep towards left field. If it's fair, it's gone, but it will tail foul. It's about as good a contact as we've seen Rocco make now in the last couple of games. But again, if you're going to make a mistake against him, chances are he's going to make you pay for it. Rocco was the first batter to face Semanchik back in the 4th inning. And with 2 on, he chopped one back to the pitcher. Takes it down and in. 2-1. He's hitting at .345 on the season, 11 home runs. That's 4th among Division III players this year. Swings and hits that one in the air towards shallow left center field, and it drops in for a base hit. Big turn at first for Ma. But he will retreat with the base hit. Well, now's where the fun begins if you're Case Western Reserve on the base paths here, because this is a running situation. Maul with 2 stolen bases already today. The team has 7. Now, the stolen base game is slowing down a little bit with Semanchik on the mound. Part of that because he's done a better job keeping runners off the base paths. But here, with a red-hot Alex Capetillo coming to the plate, you have to imagine that early on in this at-bat, Maul will be in motion to try to get into scoring position. Not running there as that ball shot in towards the gap in right center field. That will get down for extra bases. Maul will turn the corner at third. He's waved home. Here comes the throw, and it's cut off. Maul slides in safely. An RBI double for Alex Capetillo. And Case Western Reserve now leads 6-4. First pitch swinging. Capetillo drove one into the opposite field gap. And it's now a 6-4 lead. Second hit of the game for Capetillo. He's now 2 for 3 on the day, and now Benjamin Stawicki to the plate. Stawicki 1 for 3 with a 2 RBI single in the first and a ground out to third in his only at-bat so far today against Semanchik. Again, these two, I have to imagine, know each other, went to the same high school 2 years apart, as that's taken outside for a ball. Semanchik won the first battle, and you have to imagine in this situation, typically, the strength in this or the advantage goes to the pitcher knowing the hitter rather than the hitter knowing the pitcher. Obviously, each situation a little different, but typically in baseball, the advantage is so much shifted in the pitcher's favor to begin with. The 1-0 on the way. Swung on, hit in the air, center field, deep but playable. Anderson back in front of the warning track, makes the grab, and that ends the inning. But Case Western Reserve with a 2-out single for Rocco Maul, a 2-out double for Alex Capetillo, adds on to their lead. It's now 6-4 as we move into the latter third of the game. In the top of the 7th, it will be Zawadski, Mitiga, and Monroe Donnelly for John Carroll when we return. Well, Mark Gross back out on the mound, his 4th inning of relief for Ben Murphy. Gross up to 45 pitches in this one. He's allowed 1 run on 4 hits, no walks, 1 strikeout. Through his first 3 innings of relief, Murphy threw 60 pitches to start the game, and now Gross to begin the 7th. First pitch popped up, foul territory, long look, but that one will get out of play. And the count goes to 0-1. Aaron Zawadski at the plate. Swing and a miss at that one, and the count goes to 0-2. Gross came up and in on Zawadski. And a swing and a miss again, strike 3. Well, maybe a little bit of a new twist to that weapon for Gross. Good job pitching up and in against the right-handed hitter, and now Dominic Mitiga will come to the plate. Batting at .372 on the season. He has been on base all 3 times today. Swing and a miss there, and it's 0-1. A little bit more bite to that breaking ball than we've seen Gross have for a while. Miniga doubled in the first, walked in the third, reached on an error in the fifth. He scored runs after reaching in both the first and the third. Chopper, second base, high hop for Ma, who makes the play. 2 gone.
Now batting number 37, Monroe Donnelly.
And Gross a chance for a quick 7th inning. But Monroe Donnelly to the plate. Donnelly hitting at .336. A pair of RBI singles, one in the first, one in the third. He's also struck out swinging. Falls behind against Gross, or falls ahead, gets ahead in the count, I should say, against Gross. 1-0. Now the 1-0. 2-0. Called strike 2-1. Well, down and out. Whipzinski tried to pull the ball up to that outside corner, but couldn't quite get it there. So the count now 3-1. Ball 4. So Donnelly draws the walk, and now Penman to the plate. Penman 2 for 3. Hits in his last 2 at bats, including a single to start the 6th inning. Eventually came around to score a run. That was against Gross. The double earlier in the game, an RBI double for Penman, came against Ben Murphy. Throw down to first for Gross, not in time. Penman hitting at .344. Fouls it back, 0-1. Donnelly has 10 stolen bases this season, so a threat to run here, especially with the lefty at the plate. That one just misses. 1-1. Looked to be letter high and over the middle of the plate. Inside, and it gets away from Whipzinski, and that will move the runner up a bag. So the pass ball moves Donnelly to second base. So it's 2-1, 2 away. See if Gross can prevent that run from coming in. 2-1 pitch. Called strike 2-2, and now Gross a strike away. Two and two, 2 outs. Top of the 7th, 6-4, Case Western Reserve leading in this one. Two pitch. Outside, full count, 3-2. First base is open, but with a 2-run lead, you don't want to mess around with the batter here. If you're Gross, you have to go after Penman. And it misses inside, ball 4. Did not miss by much again. There were 2 very close pitches in that at bat, but Penman works out the walk. Back-to-back walks here with 2 outs in the 7th. And now Joe Charpentier, 2 for 3 on the day, will come to the plate. With the tying runs on the base path, Charpentier representing the potential go-ahead run. He's driven in 11 this season. And the first pitch, a little outside, 1-0. Strike zone has gotten a little bit smaller here, with Gross looking for one last out in the 7th. 2-0. And it's 3-0. Have to imagine Charpentiers taking all the way here, 3-0. Pinch hitter is out on deck. It's David Ferguson. Up high, ball 4. And Gross, with 3 straight 2-out walks, has loaded the bases.
Pinch hitting for the Blue Streaks is number 33, David Ferguson.
So now a big opportunity here for John Carroll, and they will go to their bench. Matthew Donnelly, the designated hitter, will be pinch hit for. It'll be David Ferguson, the sophomore from Plainfield, Illinois, Plainfield North High School. 5'11", a right-handed hitter. Matt Englander coming out from the dugout. I don't believe he's made a motion to the bullpen yet. Ferguson on the year. It started with regularity. He started 24 games this season. As Gross will head to the dugout, the new pitcher coming in. Ferguson, who will face him, is a .271 hitter, 1 home run and 19 runs batted in. Looks like the pitcher coming in will be Corey Brown for Case Western Reserve. We'll get you some more information on Brown when we return in just a second. Well, Case Western's lead in a little bit of jeopardy here. And we'll see if Corey Brown can get one final out here in the frame. Brown pitching for the second straight game, his 11th appearance overall, which includes 1 start. He's 3-1 on the season with a 2.94 ERA and 1 save. And we'll face David Ferguson, the pinch hitter. First pitch from Brown. Fastball called strike, 0-1. The bases are loaded, 3 straight 2-out walks issued by Mark Gross. But Case Western Reserve leading by 2, a dangerous spot here, though, in the top of the 7th. The 0-1 from Brown. Foul tip back, 0-2. Donnelly at third, Penman at second, Charpentier over at first. All 3 reached on walks after 2 quick outs, a strikeout and a ground out to start the inning for Gross. Brown's 0-2 on the way. Curve got away, and a good job by Whippazinski to catch it cleanly and prevent it from going to the backstop. It's an issue for Brown sometimes with that curveball. It can get away from him and sail a little high. Whip does a great job behind the plate, keeping that in front of him. So now the 1-2. Fastball popped up, foul and out. Ferguson stays alive, 1-2 still. Another 1-2 from Brown. Fastball in the air, popped up, foul territory. Stawicki giving chase underneath it, makes the catch, inning over. Right in front of the first base dugout, the visiting dugout. Stawicki makes the grab, and a big out to end the 7th inning. John Carroll leaves the bases loaded. They've left 9 on base so far today. And now Case Western Reserve will try to add on to what's a 2-run lead, 6-4 the score. Ryan, Whipzinski, and Glasser due up when we return. Welcome back once again. Is Case Western Reserve with a 2-run lead. Ryan Whipzinski, Glasser. 5, 6, and 7 in the order due of this inning for Case Western Reserve. Jake Ryan 2 for 3 in the game. He's hitting at .381 on the year now. Base hits in each of his last 2 trips to the plate, including a single against Samanchik his last time up. Carter Samanchik has pitched well in relief today. Timeout called at the plate. Final line on Mark Gross. 3 2/3 innings, 4 hits allowed, 3 walks, 1 run, 2 strikeouts. That's in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count on Ryan. Ryan really starting to break out with the bat now. Taken up high, 1-1. Good breaking pitch for a called strike. 1-2. RBI earlier today was his 15th of the season. 1-2. Inside, taken for a ball, 2-2. Two on the way. Lifted in the air down the right field line and fouling out of play. So the count stays at 2-2. Two pitch. In the dirt, 3-2. Case Western Reserve's had the leadoff man on in all but 2 innings today. The first and the 6th, the only 2 innings they haven't put the leadoff man on. Here's 3-2. Swung on ground ball, softly towards short. Fielded there by Zawadzki. Throw on the run, on target, and in time for the out. And Ryan is retired to start the 7th. So Tyler Whipzinski to the plate now. Whip 0 for 3. fly out, a couple of ground outs. Inside. Just misses hitting Whippazinski, and it's 1-0. This will be Tyler's second at bat against Samanchik. Grounded into fielder's choice, his first time up against him in the fifth. The 1-0. Swings and fouls it back off the netting in front of us. Right behind home plate, and the count evens at 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Little outside, 2-1. And off his back foot, fouls it, or hits, I should say, in the air to second base. Heaton there to make the catch for the out. There are two gone. So now Nate Glasser to the plate with two outs and the base is empty. First pitch. Called a strike on the outside corner. Glasser didn't like that one. So the count goes to 0-1. Hit in the air, center field. Over to get it is Anderson, and he makes the catch, and that ends the inning. A 1-2-3 inning, I believe the first true 1-2-3 inning for either pitcher today. Eighth inning we go. It'll be 8-9-1 for John Carroll. Anderson, Heaton, and Cohane due up when we return. So the eighth inning we go. It's a two-run game. Case Western Reserve leading by 2. Corey Brown got the final out of the seventh inning, inducing a pop-out in foul territory with the bases loaded. And now we'll face the 8-9-1 hitters for John Carroll, Anderson, Heaton, and Cohane. Anderson batting at .267 on the season. Drove in the fourth run of the game for John Carroll on a fielder's choice his last time up. First pitch fastball from Corey Brown is low, 1-0. Anderson 1 for 3 in the game. Swing and a miss. Big cut in an outside pitch. Couldn't catch up to it, and it's a 1-1 count. In the dirt, 2-1. I have to imagine that Liam Killingstad is just waiting in or near that bullpen now. Should Brown get into any trouble. Foul back, and it's 2-2. Popped up. Shallow right. Glasser makes the catch. Good job by Glasser taking charge of that one. And we'll get a pinch hitter here, as Max Argento will be the pinch hitter for John Carroll.
Pinch hitting to the Blue Streaks is number 12, Max Argento.
So Argento, the pinch hitter for Heaton. And Argento comes in with a .333 batting average, is 2 for 6 on the year. He takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. A junior out of East Rochester, New York. The 1-0. Hit in the air, deep towards center field, but Neal has a beat on it. 2 gone.
Next up to bat is number 51, Patrick Cohane.
So the first 2 retired, and now Patrick Cohane will be the batter for John Carroll. CWRU pitching has done a good job keeping Cohane in check so far today. He's 0 for 4. A pop out, a fly out, reached on an error in the 5th, and then grounded out. Facing Brown for the first time, takes it down and out for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0. In the air behind second base. Maw. 3 outs, ends the inning. Good job by Maw to stay with that one. And we will move to the bottom of the 8th. 2-run lead for Case Western Reserve, trying to add on to their lead when we return. 6-4 the score. Welcome back once again. It's Case Western Reserve with a 2-run lead, bottom of the 8th, possibly the team's last at bat, trying to add on a run or 2 here. Jacob Kusha coming up to the plate, 1 for 3 on the day with a double. It'll be Kusha, Lott, and Neal due up. No action in the Case Western Reserve bullpen, so this might be Brown's game to try to close out in the 9th. In the meantime, Samanchik continues to pitch well in relief. First pitch to Kusha, ground ball towards third. Fielded cleanly there by Mitiga. Throw to first is high, pulls him off the bag. Did he apply the tag? He did. Good play at third base and a good play at first by Donnelly to apply a tag on an errant throw. And there's 1 gone in the inning. It's now 4 1/3 innings for Samanchik, who's allowed just 1 run on 3 hits and a strikeout. No walks in the game. He's done a good job to stop some of the bleeding here. Came into the game with the team down. He's kept it close. 0-1 the count as Lott fouls that one back. John Carroll in the 9th will send some good hitters to the plate. Zawadzki, Mitiga, and Donnelly. Penman to follow should someone reach. So Any run would be helpful here for Case Western Reserve. Line drive, left field, base hit. Jacob Lott with a one-out single.
Next up to bat is number 6, Samuel Neal.
It's back to the top of the order, and Samuel Neal to the plate. Neal grounded out to first base his last time up. 1 for 3 in the game with 2 RBIs. Again, if they're playing him back at third base here, and it looks like Midiga will take a few steps in, but again, would love to see Neal maybe try to lay one down here. Use that good speed of his. He's a good bunter. In the dirt for a ball, 1-0. No signs of bunting as that's down and hit low for a ball, 2-0. You know, the other thing Neal does well, again, is send the ball the opposite way. And one of the advantages to having a runner on first here is that it opens up that space because the shortstop with the lefty up has to cover second base on a potential steal. Outside, 3-0. Lott has stolen 5 bases on 6 attempts this season, but I can't imagine he'll be running here with Neal ahead in the count, 3-0. Pitch taken for a called strike. Neal showing no signs of swinging there. 3-1. Now let's see if Lott starts to get runnery at first. 3-1, 1 away, runner on. Swung on, ground ball hit towards second, should be 2. Flipped to second for 1, back on to first. In time, double play, 4-6-3 turned. And we will move into the 9th. So Case Western Reserve with a runner on in the inning, but the double play races him. Zawadzki, Midiga, and Donnelly due up. 2, 3, and 4. Last chance for John Carroll. 6-4 the score. Case Western Reserve leading when we come back. Case Western Reserve trying to put an end to a 4-game losing streak. They lead 6-4 as we move into the 9th. Last chance for John Carroll and Corey Brown, who's retired all 4 batters he's faced today, all through the air. 2 pop-outs, 2 fly-outs. Will pitch to start the 9th with no action in the bullpen. He'll face some tough hitters, though, in Zawadzki, Midiga, and Donnelly. 2, 3, and 4 in the John Carroll lineup. So Zawadzki's standing in.
Now batting is number 11, Aaron Zawadzki.
Zawadzki hitting at .336 on the season. 1 for 4 in the game with 2 strikeouts and a double and a run scored. First pitch from Brown, a fastball in the dirt, 1-0. Scott Kutchke up in the bullpen. Interesting, no killing stat. Called strike, and it's 1-1. Now the 1-1 pitch. Down and in, 2-1. So Zawadzki ahead in the count, the sophomore. Trying to get something started in the 9th for John Carroll, his team trailing by 2. Swing and a miss. And the count evens 2-2. Zawadzki has gone chasing some of those high pitches today. Gross struck him out on a couple of pitches up and in. Here's the 2-2 from Brown. The junior out of Crown Point, Indiana, delivers. Swung on, fouled off. Count stays at 2-2. Here's the 2-2 on the way. Swung on, ground ball, first base. Stawicki backhands it, has to run to the bag himself and gets there just in time. Brown was a little late getting over. And Stawicki, who had a range to his right side to get that one and backhand it, initially wanted to flip over to Brown, but realized that his only play was to run there himself, and Stawicki gets there in time. So there's one gone now. Base is empty for Dominic Mitiga, a .369 hitter on the year. He is 1 for 3 in the game. Takes it down and out for a ball, 1-0. Doubled and scored a run in the first, reached on a walk and scored a run in the third, reached on an error in the fifth, and grounded out to second base in the seventh. The 1-0 from Brown. Called strike, 1-1. Line drive, left field. That'll get down for a base hit. And we'll bring the tying run to the plate. So Mitiga with his second hit of the game. 11th hit now for John Carroll in the game. And there's a runner now on first for Monroe Donnelly, who walked his last time up and is 2 for 3 in the game with a pair of RBI singles. First pitch. Fastball down and in, 1-0. The 1-0. Brown. Swung on, ground ball it up towards the middle. Diving attempt by Maul, but he can't get to it. And the tying runs both now on the base paths after Donnelly's single up the middle. So danger here in the ninth. The tying runs on base. Go ahead run at the plate. It's Derek Penman who will come up. Penman 2 for 3 in the game. Facing Brown for the first time. Penman, no home runs on the season. 7 doubles and a triple, though. He's driven in 16. .344 hitter. Representing the potential go-ahead run at the plate in the top of the ninth. First pitch. Ground ball towards first. Stawicki has it. Will throw to second. He skips it there. And, boy, what a play by Lott. And they will call him out. They'll say it came on the exchange. The ball popped out, but the umpire right there says that he got the out first. And so that will go as a fielder's choice. Boy, Stawicki, and I'm not sure that was, it's not that it wasn't the right move, but Stawicki made that dangerous with the throw. Donnelly out, 3-6 on the putout. Mitiga goes to third, so runners on the corners now. That's a big play because it keeps the potential game-tying run at first base instead of at second. So it's first and third now with 2 away. John Carroll head coach Mark T-Bolt heads out there. And we'll talk this over with the umpire. But the play stands, and runners on first and third, and it's now up to the John Carroll catcher, Joe Charpentier. Charpentier 2 for 3 today, 2 singles and a walk. Penman the runner at first. He's stolen 13 bases this year. Swing and a miss, 0-1. But he's got to be very careful if he attempts to steal one here. I can't imagine he will, representing the potential game-tying run. A ball gets away from the bullpen, and a timeout called. Now the 0-1 on the way. Brown delivers. Swung on, foul back off of Whippazinski, and the count goes to 0-2. The umpire will go out, give Whippazinski a chance to collect himself after being hit by that one, but with 2 strikes, I imagine Whip just wants to get back behind the plate here. So Brown a strike away. Heading the count 0-2 on Charpentier, trying to lock down a win. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Curveball high, 1-2. Now the 1-2. Another curveball sails high and will go all the way to the backstop, and that will allow the 5th run of the game to score for John Carroll, but maybe more importantly, it moves the tying run into scoring position now at second base. And so all of a sudden, after that wild pitch, a base hit could score the game-winning run, or the game-tying run here in the 9th. That is a huge turn of events here. And so now a slow walk out as Nick Callahan will go talk to Corey Brown, the pitching coach for Case Western Reserve. Scott Kutschke ready in the bullpen. Brown was ahead in the count 0-2. And needs to get a big out here. They're talking strategy here and how to get this last out, how to approach Charpentier. With a runner at second and 2 away, the 2-2. Again, you have to be careful here. Base hit ties this game up. 2-2 is on the way. Fastball fouled back. Count stays at 2-2. (6-5) the score. Brown ready again. Here's the 2-2. Fastball in the dirt, good block by Whippazinski. Full count though, 3-2. (3-2) pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that ends the game. So Corey Brown gets a big strikeout, leaves a runner stranded at second base, and Case Western Reserve ends their losing streak. They stop it at 4 games with a 6-5 win over John Carroll. John Carroll drops to 20-16 on the year with the loss. Case Western Reserve now 26-10 with the win. The winning pitcher today is Mark Gross. He's now 5-4 on the year. The save goes to Corey Brown, his second. The loss goes to starter Casey Anzelk, and he will drop to 0-1 on the year. Today's game lasted 2 hours and 37 minutes. Attendance 225 at the ballpark. I want to thank everyone once again for joining us. Case Western Reserve will wrap up its regular season next week when the team welcomes the University of Chicago to town, starting with a doubleheader on Saturday at noon, and we'll have coverage of that for you here on the network. Thanks to everyone again for listening. Once again, final score 6-5, Case Western Reserve with the win over John Carroll.